It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, beginning at verse 1, and it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, or Chakadosh Thumb. I want to say double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who do teach and rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning, Lord willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land and other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh and I'm coming at you another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This lesson pretty much inspired. It's spiritual because, like the elder Apostle Torah say, sometimes you can't sleep. I was asleep and so certain things happened, woke me up out of my sleep. So it's like 2 a.m. And, why not do a video, if the spirit on and the thing is, there's so many things going on right now. Like I remember when I was, I ain't gonna say first coming in the truth, but I remember a few times in my walk in this truth, hearing certain individuals or the whole, that whole mindset of you had Jake talking about they couldn't come up with a topic. It was a brother within the camp when I was part of the camp. You know, Jake was. It was a few brothers or a few. Me and was once called brothers. That would have issues coming up with a topic. Well, you ain't got no issue with having no topic right now. If you can't come up with no video with all the Lord doing, yeah, this ain't might not be for you. I don't know. You must be a demon or something. You know what I'm saying? No, let me stop. But you know, again, this lesson was inspired. And actually, I was just checking through some videos, and I was listening to the brother from Orlando. Um, so the video is inspired by the brother from Orlando because that whole longshoreman dock workers port strike. A lot of brothers going in on that, and the spirit jumped on me to do one. So I saw a lesson by a brother, and he was showing a video of Glenn Beck. So this is a fellow believer. Slakia, this is a fellow believer in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So I would hope it would be an issue to just use part of his video, the Glenn Beck part. But I'm gonna just say fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm not making or using his portion of the video to profit off of or anything. I'm just lining, you know, something up that his video says with some scriptures. Lord willingly, this is edifying.
Just some of this. Let me take you first to another issue. You get up this morning, scrolling through your phone, checking your news feed, having a cup of coffee, and then there's this headline: U.S. port workers begin nationwide strike. Okay, good. Now, you could just blow this off because of ports and, dock workers sounds distant.
It was the worst season of The Wire.
Okay.
Right. So it's the kind of the one you skip, I feel like.
Okay, this one is about to reach out right into your home, your wallet, your daily life. So I need to explain what's coming our way. First, in week 1, in the first week, you might not notice much. So there's no reason to panic. You can go and go to the store, stock up on some things, but there's no reason to run out and do that this week. Your online orders are still arriving. Maybe you hear a blip on the news about some ships stuck offshore. For a few industries hinting at some delays, but for most people, life is going to go on as normal in week 1. It started last night. Now, behind the scenes, things are starting to shake and crack a little bit. Retailers, manufacturers, and businesses that depend on regular shipments are beginning to feel the pinch in week 1. The just-in-time supply system, that we all learned about in COVID, that's beginning to have a little bit of a strain, and it's starting to wobble a little bit. And while the shelves are still full for now, the stock rooms in the back are running thin. Mm-hmm. By week 2, by the second week, you're going to start feeling things. So next week, maybe midweek, if it's still going on, maybe you head for the store and something as simple as bananas or a pair of new shoes, suddenly the shelves aren't as full. Some items just aren't there. Fresh avocados or berries that you've gotten used to, they're sitting on ships waiting to dock. And it's not just food, it's electronics, it's clothing, even toys for your kids. They start becoming harder to find. Prices, by week 2, they may start on some items to inch upward. Businesses are now scrambling to get their hands on what's left, and the competition drives up costs. That cheap TV that you were thinking of buying, you may have to add anywhere from 10 to 30% to the price tag by the end of week 2. If you were planning on doing some home repairs or upgrades, good luck. All of the tools and materials are sitting in crates, gathering dust at the ports. This is also a problem because of the hurricane. Anything that you get at Home Depot is going to be in short supply because of the hurricane, and by week 2, the dock workers strike. Now, by the 3rd week, if it goes on that long, now we're getting into some problems. It's no longer just a shortage of bananas or phone chargers. Entire industries begin to slow down. Factories that rely on parts from overseas, just in time, can't keep running. So the workers in those factories, people you might know, maybe it is you, are getting furloughed, sent home without pay because there's nothing for you to build. Grocery stores begin to ration some items and limiting on some items how much you can buy. Now, at this point, the strike is not a nuisance. This is week 3. This point in week 3, it becomes a crisis. The online orders you placed, delayed, weeks out. Businesses are pleading with the government for help by now, but even if the strike ended in week 3, it would take weeks to untangle the mess at the ports. By now, inflation is beginning to rear its ugly head. Everything from groceries to gas to clothes is more expensive than it was just 2 weeks ago. Week 4, this is when it becomes the full weight of the strike is unavoidable, and I believe it becomes a national security problem. And possibly by this time in week 4, it is just one part of what I am looking for, and we'll explain later on the show, a polycrisis. A polycrisis is what will take us out in a knockout blow. And you already have a little bit of a polycrisis with the dock workers and the hurricane. Small businesses are now closing their doors because they can't get their inventory. Grocery store shelves are sparse with some items missing altogether. Your favorite brands might be out of stock. Maybe you head to the hardware store only to find that the building materials you need are either unavailable or so expensive they're out of reach. Now let's talk long term. Timing couldn't be worse because we're heading into fall. And you know what that means. The holiday season. Retailers are counting on the next few months for a huge chunk of their sales, and the Christmas gifts you've been eyeing, there's a good chance they won't make it in time for Christmas. Toys, electronics, clothing, they're sitting in ships or back-ordered at factories. They can't get the parts. Even if the strike ends after 4 weeks, the backlog will last for months. Shipping will be slow, and prices, you'll be paying a premium for anything you can find. So
this is the point I want to make. this, and Lord willing, this is it. Lord willing, this is it. But
And that's what majority of the brothers, that's the proper spirit to be in. What I mean, because a man that's rooted in this truth, he hates this place. This because you constantly see and experience it, and seeing that you have no power in your hand, and seeing the trends of the world and the direction the world's going into, seeing these wicked ass people in rulership. The scriptures tell you that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, and seeing the boldness that they come in because now they're much bolder in proclaiming their wickedness. So hopefully this is it, and if it's not, it's the beginnings of sorrows. Because this is the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua visiting the earth, and pretty much going to get everybody's attention. I forgot who the brother was. I watched so many videos, and I told you I didn't have too much sleep, but it was a brother I think it was the brother Aran from Men of Valor, brother Bakora Mount's brother. And no, who it was. It was the elder brother Ashiar from North Carolina, Salakia. But he was making a statement. He said, our people pretty much, only run to the Lord when times are bad. And at my job, I got to be around these Edomites, and they play this country song. And the song, I was gonna do a video on it too. That's the spirit that I'm even thinking of this. But because I remember that the elder saying that, and it moved my spirit. And it's a song that they play, and it made me think of an Edomite. Now the 2/3 kind of had that same spirit, because it's a song. I don't know the name of it, but he pretty much say he only called on the Lord when he need a favor. And then he said, so why should he basically expect a savior? Yeah. And I was just thinking, because that's Jake. The scriptures talk about pretty much remember that Creator in the days of thy youth. You're supposed to remember the Most High God in the good times and the bad, not just when the bad times. What did Job say? He said, "Are we to only expect good and not evil from the Lord?" Oh foolish woman. So this is the Lord visiting the earth, and everybody's gonna make known or realize that it's a power, because the Lord is doing too many different things. This can be the beginning of the end, but this definitely is the beginning of the setting up of Jacob's trouble, because you have to look at it. People here, and now it's about to be a shortage of goods. I watch a lot of different videos, and I think I was either on Full Spectrum Survival, or I was on somebody's, channel, and they was, reading the comments, because this is the perfect time to be reading these comments. And you got individuals, because you got your ear to the street, and pretty much they like, shit. You got people driving around late night, staking out houses. Now, trust me, you might still be able to find some stuff this week, but wait, because you got to remember, these Americans, these Babylonians are selfish. You had individuals coming out talking about don't panic. You should have knew immediately that people go panic buy, because these Americans aren't together. They all in wickedness together. They all in this prison planet system together, but they not together as far as unity. The only brothers or only individuals that's together with the like-minded doctrine and mindset is the brothers in this truth, the brethren, So, because this is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. It's the book of, I read that. Get what? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. We'll start at verse. We'll start at verse 1, and it reads, "The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, power of Israel." Yahweh meaning he is, or he exists, or he to be, Ba'ashem meaning in the name, Yahweh Shah meaning he saves or he deliverer, which is the true names of the Most High God and the Son, who you people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ. It says, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. So it was commanded for Jeremiah to go speak these words unto, the nation of Israel. Well, to write them in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Verse 4, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. And Israel, will be considered the northern kingdom, and Judah will be considered the southern kingdom. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And we are in a time not of peace. The scriptures tell you in the book of Ecclesiastes, it's a time of war and a time of peace, a time to sow and a time to pluck up, a time to plant and a time to pluck up, a time to sow and a time to rend. It's a time for all things. And this is not the time to be bullshitting, procrastinating, none of that. Because like I said, and this is going to take a lot of people unawares. I've been on this Facebook, like I usually be fucking with Facebook Marketplace, and I seen the little Facebook dating app, and I ain't gonna lie, like maybe I've been fucking with it for maybe like 3 weeks. I was just bored one day, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot my shot at this one chick. So I did, and because you can like people with different things like that. Like you can look at the image and you can like it or say decline it. And I ain't gonna lie, it's like 30 motherfucking females just bit, right? And I'm asking certain like conversation starters, I'm asking them certain little questions. And I'm asking them, do they know about it? And pretty much only one female knew. And she a firefighter. And she like, yeah, I've been keeping up with it. But no, I'm exaggerating. It probably at least a good 15 females though. And ain't there one out of Slovakia. Only one out of those 15 actually knew about this. So this shit gonna take a lot of people off guard. My neighbor didn't know. A lot of people didn't know. And like the elder Awawaga Bar said, he said, where like in New York, I don't know who this woman was, he said, but pretty much they put a spokesman on telling the citizens not to panic buy. But he said, fuck that. He said he was asking people just to see where their head was at. But at the same time, he wanted them to go panic buy. And regardless, they go panic. Because, Jake might not be aware because Jake is sottish. Scriptures talk about in what's Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Esau be up on this. Like Esau know what the fuck going on. Like I said, I can see my neighbor. My neighbor, she an older lady, and then, I understand why. Like she was like she didn't watch the news today. Like her husband had passed. And I think her husband just recently passed, and that's her lot. You know what I mean? Like coming to these times, and you ain't got no man around you. What I mean? And fuck just a regular man, a thug, or these Edomite ass, carnal ass individuals. You gonna need a man of the Lord. I was talking to one chick, and when I put her onto it, she like, do you got any weapons? And I'm like, a weapon ain't gonna save you. That she's still trying to buck up to the shit and all that. You a single mother with 6 kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck if you had a fucking Gatling gun. Like, bitch, that's not gonna save you if the Lord ain't with you. But you can't tell our people shit. You know what I mean? So I see why brothers really didn't tell women that they meeting the truth. But this time, like if the spirit jump on me to say it, I'm gonna say it. I mean, fuck, you know what I mean? Like the panties ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to get the box or the kabal. You know what I mean? Like, of course, we want the kabal, but at the same time, if the spirit convict me to say something, you know what I mean? Like, and then the bitch get offended or, it go left. Well, that was the spirit. You know what I mean? You a damn demon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to be really fucking with no demon. Passing demons all day. I work with a fucking bunch of demons. Verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness. And we about to see that. I mean, like I said again, there's a lot of crime going on. But like my neighbor said, I said, well, shit, if you got crime now, just imagine when this takes place. Because, you know, you're going to have individuals that's going to be scopaing these, you know, they're going to be, this is said, the strong eat the weak. Dog eat dog, strong eat the weak. So they gonna be preying on these single mothers, you know, these elderly people. You know, I remember that years ago during the pandemic. You know, I'm talking they beating up these elderly people, taking their shit. You know, so the violence is gonna get so extreme to the point where you gonna have these so-called men that's gonna be, you know, clutching they lawyers. They gonna be scared of fear. You know, right before they did this, because I had a feeling the Lord was gonna have this done. Call lawyer because this is only speeding up the process of the kingdom coming. Verse 7, Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who is the he? The elect. You know. The Lord, scriptures say that all Israel is not of Israel. And the Lord cares upon the elect of Israel. You know, he cares about Israel, but, you know, he cares about the elect of Israel because it's already set up through the Spirit that the Lord going to destroy 2/3 of our people. With all this happening, a nigga is not going to say, well, damn, I fear the Lord and repent. A nigga going to say what I can do carnally or within my power to sustain myself. The Lord can't use no nigga like that. I'm talking about like some of these nigga bitches. You know what I mean? Women I've met within the last, I don't know, year that literally blatantly tell about they don't believe in God. The Lord gonna kill a bitch like that and probably have some horrible, a horrible, gruesome death. Cause she'd be deserving of it. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 15, starting at verse 1. And it reads, Then said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Verse 2, And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, Whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai power. Or, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to captivity. So everybody's got their allotted judgment. You know what I mean? Verse 3, And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. The sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to devour and destroy. The scriptures talk about spirits created for vengeance. You know what I mean? And you know what's so crazy? Like I said, me and my neighbor were speaking yesterday because, like I said, it's a whole ordeal with this thing too. Show you how cold the Lord is. Like he got me in a whole little situation. And like I said, if I err to the left or to the right, I could be judged. So, you know, at the end of the day, I just pray that I stay within the Spirit and I pray for mercy. But I pray ultimately for just the destruction of this wicked ass place. You know what I mean? And I pray that I remain in this truth. I pray, you know, the brother, what's that brother's name? Kazak. From Mississippi, that brother did a video, finished the mission, you know. And as a man, you know what I mean? You know, I was just making a statement the other day because I was talking about, you know, like certain brothers were like, you get offended by, you know, guys like Little Woody or Charleston White or 6ix9ine. And you know, although I'm not in the world anymore, I do get offended because the things that are synonymous with this truth and the streets is it's rare that you didn't know what you were signing up for. You know what I mean? You know, when you step into the streets, you know what you signed up for. That's why it's a code to it. But they breaking that code. Guys like Charleston White, you know, they making snitching popular. You know, first we had your 6ix9ine, then you had Charleston White promoting it, where he getting paid off of it, and now you got this guy Woody, he getting paid off it. You know, and you don't know how much of it's orchestrated, how much of it's scripted. You know what I mean? But the point being, yeah, that offends me because that's just like with this truth. You know, as a man, when you took and put hold to the plow, you know, you're supposed to not look back. Now, ultimately, the Lord is going to judge, you know, and ultimately, if you walk away, that was the will of the Lord because he know what he put in your spirit. You know what I mean? He know if, you know, that's why you've had me and like the elder Monatazak from South Carolina. You know, I know for one, he's one of the brothers that pretty much was part of a camp. And then, you know, like I said, if you continue in this thing, and you know, you're supposed to produce fruit, but you know, if you continue in this thing and don't fall out, you know, because you know, it's schisms. You know, the Lord is constantly sifting, but you know, is you gonna remain? That's the point. No, I don't respect any man that put his hand to the plow and left, or in the world or in this truth, especially in this truth. And we at the end, you know what I mean? You know, it's just deep. It really is. Like I said, we see in the Lord, you know, really moving upon the face of the earth. You know, you got that hurricane Helene or Helen. You know, got different brothers pronouncing it or different individuals pronouncing it differently. But, you know, that should really be an eye opener that Glenn Beck got. Because people don't consider, you know, people ain't looking at, you know, that's why those people hold so much power. They say, shit, we control the porch, nigga. That's like the mob. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't pretty much the mob right now. But then you don't know, again, behind the scenes what the fuck going on. He could be a Freemason or a part of society. Because, again, times is too hard for a motherfucker to do something like that. So why would you do that? Because those workers are going to pretty much be going without pay. And they said the government, the Biden administration said they're not going to intervene, although they supposed to be able to like enforce them to go back. But they like, well, shit, if we go back to work, we not going to do, like, say for instance, we was doing 30 containers a day. We only do like a percentage of that. We going to do 8. You know what I mean? So either way it go, you fucked up. And at a time where everything, you know what I mean? Let me get that scripture. I've been quoting it. I quoted it yesterday. I want to get it today. This is the most high God working. Psalms 119, I think it's 139. Nope, 119. It's 126. Psalms 119 and 126. And it reads, it is time for thee, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, to work, for they have made void thy law. You know, and the Lord's working right now. Like I said, again, you got so many different things going on. If you can't see that we are pretty much in the end, you know what I mean, you can't see. You know, they talk about, I forgot how many troops they just sent over to the Middle East. The Pentagon just said. I was going to do a video on that. You know what I mean? That draft is coming. We just talk about that. You know, me and my neighbor. So, yeah, you know, you got the Lord working, you know. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Yeah, because we at the end. So the scriptures talk about there's going to be a multitude of things going on, and these things ain't going to be turned away. Verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And this is Ezra, seeing the future. And he like, damn, woe is me, who gonna deliver me? Just imagine the individuals that don't even believe in a higher power. Those that, what's that? Jeremiah chapter 17, curse be the man that trusteth a man that maketh flesh his own, I know I butchered it. Making flesh his arm or something, roughly paraphrased. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. This is going to cause a major famine on top. You got to remember, like I noticed as of lately, a lot of the food I've been getting lately has been spoiling. So just imagine with a supply chain backed up too. Because what's going to happen is that union has like contract side where they exclusively move that product off the containers. Well, you can't just have the migrants and like somebody made a statement. They go get the migrants to do it. You ever heard of a union going on strike and then they try to get the workers and they get these like other workers that they pay to go do the work and they cross that picket line? Motherfuckers get killed over that. And this ain't the first time something like this happened. Like they say this happened in the 70s as well. And all that food spoiled. When you go to the grocery store and your food is turning bad, like when we get the strawberries or grapes or, like I had bought some potatoes a couple weeks back and, usually potatoes will last you a fucking month. Longer than that depends, like depending on how fresh the potatoes is. And I got potatoes, I think like, I got a small bag too, but like eventually I didn't cook them quick enough and they motherfucking start spoiling. You know what I mean? Well, that's pretty much because of, it's, the way the supply chain works is time sensitive. Well, it don't look like this strike is going to stop anytime soon because you got to look at it. These people, what they're requesting is kind of, I ain't gonna say unreasonable, but these companies is not about to give in to that. They pretty much want 100% raise, and they want you to not be able to use automation when the whole fourth industrial revolution is all automation. So these people fucked. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. Evil is a compound word. Bad times. We in bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come? What can you do but basically, call on the Lord? Because you cannot save yourself out of this. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. This, a scourge is like a whip. A scourge is meant to correct. So, with all these different things going on, it's meant for a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Central Indian, West Indian, or Haitian to see these things and repent and come back to their power. But it says, verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And I remember that during the lockdown or when the government shut down. What was that, around 2020? You had, I remember when the government shut down and the lockdown, you had people worried. Then they opened everything back up. And, these niggas forgot. Well, that's the thing. The Lord about to make it even worse than the time before. And that's anything, that's just like with parenting a child. You tell a child not to do something and they do it and you might look past them. The second time you might cuss them out. Third time you might whoop their ass. They do it again and you gonna fuck them up even more. So the Lord, used the men of the Lord, the prophets, to tell the people. You know what I mean? But our people are hard-hearted and stiff-necked. You know, and 2/3 is not gonna get it on this side. They're gonna have to, come back in the kingdom as children. But they're gonna come back as righteous children, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna end with this. This is the book of Psalms, because at the end it's about to be a lot of, death. Psalms 91 said 1,000 died by side and 10,000 at my right hand, roughly paraphrase. But the Lord say, what's that? Is he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. That's like the likened unto the elect. And with whatever's going on, if you are the elect, the Lord's gonna preserve you. You're gonna be anointed. You're gonna be protected. This is the book of Psalms 105 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 7. He is the Lord our power. His judgments are in all the earth. And this is gonna be judgment. You know what I mean? Like, again, you already got people suffering and struggling off of the inflation now. This will lead to hyperinflation, because when it's a shortage on goods, and the greed of this place, you think these fucking companies gonna give a fuck? You heard what they were saying, what was that, Kellogg's? They said, shit, people can't afford actual food, they can start eating cereal. One of the main reasons for the strike is because you had these longshoremen, these dock workers. They said, shit, we watch these companies make billions of dollars. Where's our piece? They said, shit, while everybody else was at home, we was on the front lines. We watching people we know die. Where's our compensation? It's unfair. Call lawyer my Yahweh Shema Shah. Verse 8, he hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. And that covenant is with the elect. Because the elect exists by Hashem, meaning in the name Yahweh Shah, meaning he saves, or he the deliverer. Which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, which are all Israelites. So, how does the elder pronounce the word super separatism? I know I butchered it. But all nations can't convert and be saved, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be born an Israelite, the seed of your father. Skipping. I'm going to start at 11. It said unto thee, will I give the land of Canaan the lot of your inheritance? When they were but a few, being in number, yea, very few strangers in it. When they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong, yea, he proved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. So the Lord is going to be with his anointed, with his elect, throughout all the coming calamities, because the day of Jacob's trouble is not, for the elect, but for the wicked of our nation. Verse 16, I wanted to bring this one out. It says, moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He break the whole staff of bread. And this will break the whole staff of bread. I hope it go on for fucking 2 months. I hope it go on way past them. This very well could stop the election. People don't even consider it, none of that. And I was laughing too, because I'm like, because normally I don't even be trying to holler at women, you know what I mean? Like, I was so fucked up about my demon, you know what I mean? And I play a part in it, I used to be a lot smoother, I believe, but this truth and then life and certain shit, you're supposed to manipulate a female. You're supposed to tell a bitch what you want to hear. I didn't do that to certain occasions, but at the same time, well, I ain't gonna say certain occasions. I didn't do that, period. Well, I did it when I first met my demon. But, at the same time, I'm glad I was seeing her for what she was. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be with no selfish ass, period. Nobody in the days to come with a selfish ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because a selfish, weak-willed person is going to sell you out to live. You know what I mean? Like, that's just facts. And 2/3 of our people are like completely fucking selfish. You know. You know. That's why you got so many people that's be in the world that might get around brothers and want that camaraderie, because the thing, when you see what brothers do and how brothers move, it is like that's what Jake has been longing for the whole time we've been in this captivity. But you gotta remember, this place puts a mindset of like monopoly, you know, of greed and covetousness. Like the elder Barack Allah was saying, he said they go get the fight over a can of motherfucking old pinto beans and bust the other nigga in the head with the beans and then eat the bitches and die because the bitches like 6 years expired. Real shit. Verse 17, he said, a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for, well, a point where I wanted was moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He break the whole staff of bread. And this very well could break the staff of bread because, like I said, again, once that supply chain fuck up, you know, everybody remember the pandemic? Literally, like, I remember it was these hot, spicy sausages, these beef sausages. Bread was called Dutch. I remember I used to fuck with them things. Like, I was fucking with them before all this shit happened. And during that pandemic, they stopped making them. They just recently started making them within like the last couple years again. I mean, I watched certain brands and products disappear. So, Lord willing, this is hopefully it. Lord willing, this is edified. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Lord Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem. I can just make a thumb. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who do teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim and the Akwatha to listen and learning. Lord willing, this is edified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. In the land of other nations appear like the other nations will subscribe to this truth. To you, I'll say shalom. Till next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. I'll say shalom, shalom, and kwam yasharallah. Shalom.